People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 movie assassins. For this list, we're looking at film's greatest professional killers. To be clear, we won't be including any creatures or robots like the T-800 from Terminator, just pure deadly humans. Also, we'll be ranking them based on how good and iconic they are as characters, not necessarily how skilled they are, though there is some overlap. Since we'll be discussing the various exploits of these killers, a spoiler warning is in effect. If there's a cinematic assassin you're angry didn't make our list, please keep your comments non-violent. Number 20. Fox. Wanted. Practically every member of this bullet-curving fraternity of assassins impresses, but Fox is especially skilled.
Couldn't find your keys, huh? That could be handy. You gonna teach me that? I might need that.
As skilled as she is gorgeous, and she's played by Angelina Jolie, folks, Fox's skills with guns and behind the wheel of a car are superhuman to an even greater degree. While she initially carries out her duties to kill future threats to the world, when Fox learns of the corruption of their fraternity, she turns on her former comrades to fulfill the prophecies they once adhered to, even at the cost of her own life. Deadly, beautiful, and a woman of principle, the best ones always go too soon.
Kill one, and maybe save 1,000. That's the code of the fraternity.
Number 19. Donald Red Grant. From Russia with Love. James Bond has faced many memorable assassins through the years. While it was tempting to choose the great Francisco Scaramanga, the fabled man with the golden gun, our pick goes to Donald Red Grant.
He seems fit enough. Have him report to me in Istanbul in 24 hours.
An agent of Spectre, Grant is charged with shadowing 007 while he pursues a cryptography device, killing anyone who threatens Bond. Of course, that protection only lasts until Bond gets the item, then Grant is prepared to kill him. While Bond manages to use subterfuge to get the drop on him, leading to a brilliant fight scene, Grant still proves a challenging adversary. Ruthless, efficient, and very intelligent. Grant sets the bar high for every killer 007 faces.
Red wine with fish. Well, that should have told me something.
You may know the right wines. The other one on your knees. How does it feel, old man?
Number 18. Martin Q. Blank. Grosse Pointe Blank. Martin Q. Blank is a professional hitman. He's got a secretary and everything.
Don't kill anybody for a few days. See what it feels like.
Give it a shot.
No, don't give it a shot. Don't shoot anything.
However, he's also pretty neurotic despite his moral flexibility. Attending his high school reunion and rekindling his romance with his ex Debbie leads Martin to re-examine his life choices and respect for life. Unfortunately, his work follows him, as some of his competitors as well as some government agents pursue him and a contract on Debbie's dad. The contrast between Martin's blasé attitude and his aptitude with violence makes for great comedy and for an entertaining movie assassin.
What am I gonna say? I killed the president of Paraguay with a fork. How have you been?
Number 17. Noah Il Duce McManus, the Boondock Saints. When a pair of Irish-American brothers, Connor and Murphy, decide to rid Boston of organized crime, local mobster Papa Joe calls on assassin Noah Il Duce McManus to deal with them.
Whenever we needed one of our own bumped off, we'd call this guy in. He had a thing for clipping wise guys.
Il Duce ambushes the duo and their friend Rocco in an epic firefight. They make it out alive, but the trio later walks into a trap and Rocco is killed. However, when Il Duce is prepared to kill the brothers, their prayer reveals to him that they're his sons, and he joins them in their crusade against crime. The elder McManus' iconic look and fearsome expertise with firearms cement him as one of the best parts of the Boondock Saints.
The question is not how far. The question is, do you possess the Constitution?
Number 16. Sergeant Raymond Shaw, the Manchurian Candidate. Not every assassin is a willing one. Sergeant Raymond Shaw is hailed as a hero after he seemingly returns from saving most of his army platoon in China.
The men loved him, sir. Why shouldn't they? He saved their lives.
However, his surviving comrade, Major Bennett Marco, gradually recalls and uncovers that Shaw was brainwashed as a sleeper agent. Shaw was forced to kill their fellow soldiers and is poised to be used against American politicians by his own mother, no less. Shaw's conditioning forces him to kill his stepfather's political rivals, whom he grows close to, while having no memory of it. While Marco manages to partially deprogram Shaw, he still carries out an assassination on his mother and stepfather instead. Shaw's status as an unwitting killer has proven influential, but there's no replacing the original.
You will have absolutely clear, protected shooting. You are to shoot the presidential nominee through the head.
Number 15. The Jackal, The Day of the Jackal. A consummate professional, this unnamed British assassin is known primarily by the alias The Jackal.
You must understand that this is a once-in-a-lifetime job. Whoever does it can never work again.
How much do you want?
$500,000.
What?
In cash. Half in advance and half on completion.
The Jackal is contacted by OAS, a paramilitary organization who hire him to assassinate Charles de Gaulle, president of France, after their first attempt fails. The Jackal is meticulous in his preparations to kill de Gaulle and ruthless in his dispatch of anyone who stands to expose him. He very neatly succeeds in his attempt on the president's life, but he's foiled at the last minute and shot by the police. Charming, pernicious, and competent, the Jackal is a model movie assassin and one of the better professional killer villains.
Commissioner Berthier, any suggestions?
Well, we're in trouble on this one. Our agents inside the OAS can't pin him down since not even the OAS know who he is.
Number 14. Ah Jiang, The Killer. A longtime hitman who works for and against the Hong Kong triads. Ah Jiang's life has changed after he accidentally blinds a singer, Jenny, on one of his jobs. Falling for her and desperate to restore her sight, Ah Jiang takes one last job to afford an operation. However, when his employers try to kill him instead of paying him, things turn tragic for everyone. Ah Jiang's fate may be heartbreaking, if karmic, but his final battles reveal him as a killer with a code, whose charisma is great enough to even win over the detective trying to catch him. Plus, he plays a mean harmonica. Number 13. Lorraine Broughton, Atomic Blonde. An MI6 agent at the tail end of the Cold War, Lorraine Broughton is sent to Berlin right on the cusp of the wall coming down.
So you want me in Moscow?
No. Bacton never got on the flight, so he's still in Berlin, along with the list.
Tasked with retrieving a list of covert agents and uncovering a traitor known as Satchel, Broughton proves a deadly force to be reckoned with, fighting through numerous local thugs and proving a skilled driver. However, she herself is eventually revealed to be Satchel and kills to protect the secret and frame a fellow MI6 operative for it. Of course, she's also feeding false intel to the KGB as a triple agent for the CIA. While assassination may not be her job description, Broughton isn't afraid to take out anyone who jeopardizes her mission or cover. Make that covers.
Before you die, I want to get this through your thick, primitive skull. I never worked for you.
Number 12. Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, Marvel Cinematic Universe. The long-presumed dead best friend of Steve Rogers, Captain America himself, Bucky Barnes was captured by Hydra during World War II.
Grab my hand!
Brainwashed as an assassin, given super soldier serum and a cybernetic arm, and preserved in ice, the killer dubbed the Winter Soldier has killed plenty over the decades. His attempts on Nick Fury's life bring him back into Steve's life before Bucky is brought back to himself. His tragic circumstances and oh-so-badass design make the Winter Soldier one of Marvel's most fascinating heroes-turned-villains-turned-heroes. And his bromances with Steve and Steve's eventual successor, Sam Wilson, are positively heart-melting.
Thank you, Buck. But I can get by on my own.
The thing is, you don't have to.
Number 11. Joe, Looper. A member of a crime syndicate whose members send targets back in time to be killed by their younger selves, Joe is meant to close his loop when his older self is sent back.
You get a golden payday, you get a handshake, and you get released from your contract. Enjoy the next 30 years.
However, things take a turn when old Joe thwarts him and goes on a rampage, seeking to kill the boy who will one day become a crime lord and kill his wife. The two versions of Joe are both great characters in their own rights, with the older version going down a darker path to save what he loves, while the younger version finds new meaning in protecting old Joe's target and his mother. Joe's most important assassination ends up being himself, though not in the way time originally intended. Number 10. John and Jane Smith, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. This married couple are both highly trained assassins. Neither of them is initially aware of the other's profession, and both find their marriage dull and lifeless.
There's this huge space between us, and it just keeps filling up with everything that we don't say to each other. What is that called?
Marriage.
However, after they encounter each other on the job, they get wise to each other's other lives before their competing agencies order them to kill each other. Unexpectedly, John and Jane grow closer after their attempted hits, rekindling their romance and joining forces while their agencies do the same to kill them both. Clearly, they were threatened by how great of an assassin power couple they are, and rightly so, since the duo easily wipes the floor with the squad sent to kill them. You know what they say, a couple that slays together, stays together.
Why do I get the girl gun?
kidding me?
No.
Number 9, Vincent, Collateral. When Tom Cruise goes dark, he goes all the way.
You killed him? No, I shot him. Bullets in the fall killed him.
Vincent is a hitman who plays Max, a cab driver, to drive him around Los Angeles as he kills targets over the course of one night. The psychopathic assassin is brutal in his execution of his targets, though his evening is not without collateral damage. In between hits, Vincent waxes philosophical on Max, explaining his views on various topics. He may be divorced from most of his humanity, but some of Vincent's views on topics like putting off one's dreams cut surprisingly deep. Vincent eventually pushes Max too far though, and the duo end up in a face-off that leads to Vincent's death.
I read about this guy gets on the MTA here, dies. 6 hours he's riding the subway before anybody notices his corpse doing laps around LA.
Number 8, Nikita, La Femme Nikita. The titular Nikita is given a choice between a grave and life as an assassin by a shadowy government agency after she's convicted of murder while in withdrawal.
Je travaille, disons, pour le gouvernement. Et il a décidé de vous donner une nouvelle chance, le gouvernement.
After her training, the newfound literal femme fatale excels at her chosen profession, although she struggles with maintaining a double life and keeping what she does from her boyfriend Marco. Some close calls and the exposure of her profession to Marco ultimately force her to disappear. Still, Nikita's time as a hit woman makes her one of the most memorable female assassins in cinema.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Pourquoi tu réponds pas?
Number 7, The Operative, Serenity. This nameless government assassin is sent after psychic River Tam, and the secrets she may have learned from reading the minds of higher-ups. Soft-spoken and extremely capable with a sword, the Operative proves a worthy adversary to the crew of the Serenity.
I already know you will not see reason.
The Alliance wanted to show me reason. They shouldn't have sent an assassin.
Fully aware of how monstrous he is, but nevertheless devoted to creating peace through atrocities, the Operative hopes for a better world. He beats Captain Mal Reynolds in personal combat several times. However, in their last confrontation, Mal gets the drop on him and shows him his truest desire, a world without sin. The Operative is a fascinating character, in that he ultimately realizes that the government he serves and his ideals aren't all they're cracked up to be.
You should have taken my offer. Or did you think none of this was your fault?
I don't murder children.
I do. If I have to.
Number 6, Jason Bourne, Jason Bourne franchise. Speaking of government assassins, one of the biggest names in the game is Jason Bourne.
Someone tried to take him out. Tried. And failed.
Recruited into the Treadstone program, Bourne, or David Webb as he was first known, is molded into an efficient assassin. Following a career of killing several foreign government officials and leaders, Bourne loses his memory and spends most of his time evading his own government and former handlers, all while trying to uncover his life before. Bourne can handle any vehicle he gets behind the wheel of, is fluent in multiple languages, and he can turn any household object into a weapon. His pursuit of the truth is rarely easy, but his skills and desire to atone for a past he can't remember make him a great protagonist.
Bourne?
Get some rest, Pam. You look tired.
Number 5, Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, Marvel Cinematic Universe. The MCU has a plethora of assassins, but our pick for the best can only go to Natasha Romanoff, the quintessential Black Widow.
Maybe 1 in 20 survives the training, becomes a widow, the rest he kills. To him, we are just things. Weapons with no face that he can just throw away.
This Avenger is a former assassin who has plenty of red in her ledger. However, her on-screen appearances mostly see her saving the world. Romanoff is adept in psychological warfare, infiltration, firearms assassination, and hand-to-hand combat, with her famous scissor move being a particular specialty. Seeing her go from an indoctrinated child spy to a hero that saves the whole universe makes for one incredible character journey. And even now, we still want more Black Widow.
Do you know why it's gonna be alright?
Because my girls are the toughest girls in the world.
Number 4, Leon. Leon the Professional. Leon is a cleaner, a professional hitman.
Maybe he'll listen to you. He comes to town every Tuesday. Are you free Tuesday?
He's very experienced and knows all the ins and outs and can be downright terrifying when he wants to be. However, he's also alone, with only a plant for company. That is, until a little girl named Matilda turns up on his doorstep after her family is killed. Leon shows her the ropes of assassin lifestyle. However, the unlikely pair is eventually tracked down by Norman Stansfield, the corrupt DEA agent that killed Matilda's family. Leon dies taking out Stansfield and saves Matilda. He's the quintessential hitman with a heart of gold, and his shine has never dulled.
How are you today?
I've seen better days.
Number 3, Anton Chigurh, No Country for Old Men. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have Anton Chigurh. An implacable psychopathic assassin, Chigurh is like a force of nature.
The coin don't have no say. It's just you.
I got here the same way the coin did.
Vicious, sadistic, and adept with both tracking and killing, Chigurh is one of film's greatest villains. Once he has his mind set on someone dying, he can't be reasoned with or diverted. The only way to escape Chigurh's wrath is through random chance, with a coin flip giving his victims a 50-50 shot at seeing tomorrow. We'd say he's like death himself, but even the Grim Reaper wouldn't be caught with that haircut.
Do you have any idea how crazy you are?
You mean the nature of this conversation?
I mean the nature of you.
Number 2, Beatrix Kiddo, aka The Bride, aka Black Mamba. Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2. Once a member of the Deadly Viper assassination squad, Beatrix Kiddo attempts to retire after becoming pregnant with the titular Bill's child.
One more thing, Sophie. Is she aware her daughter is still alive?
However, a shot to the head at her wedding, the supposed loss of her child, and one coma later, and the bride is out for vengeance against Bill and her former colleagues. Beatrix's looks are iconic. Her prowess with martial arts and a samurai sword are legendary, and she even survives being buried alive. We may not see much of her on the job, but if her roaring rampage of revenge is anything to go by, Black Mamba was as lethal as her namesake.
You overreacted? Is that your explanation?
No, I didn't say I was going to explain myself. I said I was going to tell you the truth.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, John Wick, John Wick franchise. In the world of the John Wick series, you can't throw a rock without hitting an assassin.
Yosef Terasov. What about him? I'd like to talk with him. A talk, you say?
John Wick is the killer that makes all others either reconsider their profession or fanboy out about him as much as we do. They call him Baba Yaga, the boogeyman, for good reason. He's got several hundred confirmed kills, and until the organization of assassins that runs his world finds someone more badass than him, that number's only going up. While he may take his share of beatings, John Wick is unstoppable. Knives, guns, books, pencils, put something in the man's hands and he'll kill someone with it. John Wick is the assassin's assassin, the uber hitman, the definite article.
The Utebia Maya Machina. Baba Yaga.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.